Good morning. Welcome to Silverrun Forest Farm. Jake's just been doing a couple of things in the workshop, checking out the soil tester. As you can see, since last time, whilst the snow did disappear briefly, we got another flurry through. It's not too big, but not too heavy, rather. The piles that we had did manage to melt, but nonetheless, we have some on the ground. So what he's thinking of this morning, while it's on the ground, he can still run over and deal with that, sample the soil on that field that we purchased an episode or two ago. So that's the first order of business, and he's cut out a field, well, the field behind Eddie's. We know enough about the position of that to be able to potentially sample that area. So we'll just see how that goes. That will be more of an experiment. Just because, whoops, let's try hitting the right button. He's not sure if you have to clear the whole area first before you can sample it, so we'll just find out, see how that goes. But at least we'll do the field beside the sawmill. He's called that sawmill field. And with any luck, we can get that underway. Must do something with that timber there. It's kind of in the way. What he's thinking is that given the little BGA at the sawmill was filled up pretty easily, the slurry that we've got going, he's going to spread it on this field down here to help improve it. Judging by the grass that was growing on there already, it's hardly waiting, it's not worth waiting for that to green up in the spring. We might as well just prep the field while we've got the time. So as soon as the snow clears off, we'll get a plough into that field and away we'll go. Now you'll notice the eagle-eyed amongst you might remember we had up around 215,000 last time. So Paige and Jake had a little celebration, opened a bottle of wine over the internet banking the other evening, and dispatched 50 grand from the savings account into the loan account. So the loan is now down to 700,000, and of course their bank balance dropped accordingly. So I might do a soil sample here. Why did that not look like it took? Maybe we do have to maybe we do have to turn it into a field first. Let's have a look at the, even though he's marked it out, it's not recording as field ground, and I suspect if we've taken 2 samples, let's send them off and see if we get any information back. Doesn't look like we will. Okay, well, and that, if that's the case, we might as well wrap that up and analyze them. But it didn't give us any data, so we've got to plough it first by the looks. So that answers that question for the moment. What we can do though, well, we're kind of halfway here, So the other item on his list, of course, was to pick up a telehandler from Eddie, so we might as well run down in the tractor and see if we can pick one out. He's had a bit of instruction from Paige as to the correct colour for this purchase, so hopefully that will be possible. We'll see what Eddie's has got to offer. He's only been able to progress, obviously, not much time's passed. A little bit more in terms of there's trees down, but nothing more taken up to the mill, so it is looking a lot clearer. And he's going to refer to that one as Eddie's field. There's our Hall M topper that we picked up cheap secondhand last time, so it's stuck inside. So what we're looking for is to give one of these a whirl. Pretty handy little unit. A little bit quicker to get around in than the wheel loader. And we want a trailer hitch. We'll put that on there. What wheels? I think we'll take the Vrodesteins. And in wide. Can get a bit boggy up on the hillside up there. The safety frame mightn't be a bad idea. And with a reasonable back weight, is there any bigger? 900 kilo back weight. That sounds like a good plan. Oh, 1200 kilo. How big can we go? 1500. We don't need a 3-point length. And the colour instruction was actually something. Is that the blue? No, that wasn't what she had in mind at all. Maybe this one. I think that's what she meant. If he's wrong, he'll get in trouble. Nothing new there. Put those wheels on it. That'll do the trick quite nicely and fit right in. So at 95 grand, we're going to buy one of those. We might head on back with that. In fact, for the moment, what we might do, we don't need it back at the farm, so we might leave it down here. There's plenty of timber work going on around here. So we might just park it here for the minute. And in fact, switch it for the... Switch it for the plough. There's still plenty of stumps to get rid of. And I think the plough's over here. We might as well move the plough to that other field and hope that, let's just check the weather. If it doesn't improve, it might be a bit of a short day. It's looking like we get above freezing by the middle of the day, so hopefully that means this snow will clear reasonably quickly. Let's pop that round. And now the other thing they've been talking about, and it was Jake filled Paige in on the experience with the sugar beet and the slurry and the little biogas facility that's been installed here at the new sawmill. And you know, they crunched their numbers and they looked at where they were at and a little bit of potential, and their kind of starting view is, well, if that's the only capacity that's on offer, it's potentially a constraint on their activities. And so if for no other reason than to have some control in the outcome, if they can get into it for a reasonable price, then maybe they can influence the capacity. So what he's thinking is, well, let's have a look. Let's pop in, make a call to Boof and see what his mates want to improve or at least share the love around, give them some control of the facility. So let's see what they want to participate in the facility. That's 135,000 to get involved. So that's a bit beyond our means at the minute, but if we get the trees sorted out that are on the lot that we're clearing, then maybe there's a chance to turn it to our advantage, particularly as it doesn't look like we've got to buy the land. We're really just buying a share of the facility. So let's just play that one by ear. For now, we need to wait for the snow to clear in this ground to defrost a little bit. Might duck back and pick up the tractor from Eddie's. So we might just take an opportunity to check on the animals. I'll pop this tractor in the shed for the moment. The cows are doing all right. They're about half the food they need, about half the straw. We could do with a little bit more. And we're almost full of slurry again. So we should have enough slurry to do that, that field down the bottom. We just need to wait for the snow to clear. And we can get on with it. Well, in the hope that it would clear, Eddie did some paperwork. Jake did some paperwork and had an early lunch and a couple of cups of coffee and tidied up the workshop and basically he was getting under Paige's feet. So she sent him down to cut some logs, and hopefully in the next hour or so the snow will clear. The temperature's above freezing, but it's still not what anyone would call as warm. So we'll just have to wait and see. So lay it down, turn it around, turn you on. And the first one we pick up is a little one. So we're cutting 12-meter logs because they can go straight on the pole trailer and straight up the mill. Let's bring you around. Can we get you? There we go. And just put you back over there and about the right spot. See if we can get you back a little bit. Not the tidiest pile that we've done, but before long we'll have a trailer load. But so far it doesn't look like the weather's going to clear for us, at least not in time to do any meaningful field work here today, which is a bit of a nuisance. I was really hoping to get that field done. Now, it's a fine day to be sitting in the cabin dealing with these logs that he'd already piled up, but I guess it's not many days that Jack can't do the actual work that he sets out to do. And swing you back round to the pile, and away we go. The other interesting thing he's learned while he's been doing this is that he can deal with the little logs pretty much himself. There are mostly the little offcuts are less than 100 kilos, so they're pretty easy to stack on. But I think the plan here is going to be to spend the rest of the day just tidying up the piles of logs that he's got and taking advantage to a lesser extent of the weather, so we can, that's that one pretty much done. There's a big pile that he's created over here. But I think what we might do is leave him with it for the afternoon to keep working his way through these. And perhaps check back with him tomorrow just to, with any luck, the snow will have cleared and we can progress with ploughing out some of this terrain and getting that soil sampled, which is what he was hoping to do when he got up this morning. So after a pretty wintry day yesterday, where in the end the snow didn't clear until just before we lost the daylight, in fact. So Jake continued to chip away, working with this area, albeit snow covered, to get some logs loaded up, and the rest sort of stacked in a couple of piles that'll make it easier to work with. So as you can see, the area is looking fairly clear, and with this morning dawning a little bit brighter, we should be able to get the plough going on the new field, and then while that's happening, we can load another trailer load of logs. Jake's still having a few problems with this trailer. It generally works fine. As you can see, it's fairly stable, but if he puts the straps on, for some really strange reason, a handful of logs, and there's not a discernible pattern, seem to be left behind. They stay fixed in place when the trailer moves. So the easiest is to just drive carefully and not strap the logs down. But we'll see how we go up here at the mill in terms of getting some more money into the bank, and then we can head back and get the plough circulating, and that'll give us a chance to get everything happening the way we intended when we set out. In terms of schedule, things are still running pretty much to plan. The seeding season, well, that's a bit tight on that off-camber corner. We lost one on the edge. So we don't like off-camber corners. But yeah, the seeding will kick off next month, and well, over the next couple of months really, and so it'll just be a matter of finishing the ploughing now, and then we can start to look to get some. We'll presume that we're going to require line. There's 24,000. We just got to head back to the truck and give it a bump, so that those logs end up in the water. We might have to run up here with the other truck with the winches, another 25. So we're up over 100k, which is good. But it looks like we're going to need the winch to move that log off the side of the road, off the railway line there, actually. Pretty sure we won't be able to try bumping it with the trailer. I didn't notice whether they had a vehicle in the yard that would shift it. Looks like the trailer might just manage to bump it down the hill enough. Certainly got it off the railway line, which is a better idea. Get you into the water there. Just a little bit further to go. hopefully when we sell next time, that one will get taken as well. We'll come back and load this up shortly, but for now, let's run across and let's just see if we can get the truck in a better position. There we go. Let's run across and get that plough going. So that's a bit better. We can see the ground here today. Now, Jake was able to mark out a field so that the course is known for our operator here, so we can create a job on this field here. And we'll open the generator. That's the right width. We'll do 5 headlands and sharp corners. Let's see what sort of course we get. That looks pretty good. And we're going to start down the bottom there. Now we're cooking. And if we just have a look at the field definition, so this is the field we're running here. The sawmill field, which came in at, you can see that we're pretty much on the edge, 3 hectares. He's also had a go at drawing one out up on Eddie's field there. And that's about 3 hectares. So some good sizes. That all compares to just over 4 on Waterview and over 4 on our bigger field too. So very aptly named. The riding school's sitting at just over 1.5. So we're getting some good land. And we've got that little field up on the hillside up here. And still got the area to work where we want to expand the sugar beet. So plenty of stuff, plenty of land now coming into Jake and Paige's control. So now we've just got to concentrate on getting it all working for them. So while that plough's going, we can get a few more logs loaded up. And we'll just check back in when Jake's got another trailer load, I guess. Let's line it up there and away we go. Beautiful. So that's that pile loaded. We've just got this set to process and load, and then the other set over near there's another set over near the track over there. If we just for a second jump up into aerial view, we can kind of get a sense for the area where he's tried to go around the perimeter. And so we've just got this pile of trees to process here. We've got a few odds and ends that need to go in the little trailer. Jake's pushed some trees off the end. We're going to leave this area forested just to stop any erosion into and reduce the runoff into the lake there. And then there's a few logs sitting over here. So apart from the tree stumps to go, that's pretty much where we're at. And we'll just get these processed up. And that's... lay you down, turn you on, and up we come. 12 meters a time. We'll be through this pile in flash. And there's probably 2 more trailers worth of timber sitting here, so we might not get all of these done today. We'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. We've got at least one more day, one more full day, and even if the weather wasn't terribly kind to us, we can get some help when we start on the fields. We got down there, just come in a little bit. Take you out. So far everything's looking like it's tracking pretty well, to be honest. It's a big tree. At least with all that foliage gone now, we can start to see what we've got left here. Looks like the last tree to process is a bit of dead wood. Certainly feels lighter. Jake hasn't made much distinction between the types of timber as far as he's concerned. It's all got to come off the lot here, so that looks like all the trees we've got to process for the moment. Our pile's a little bit untidy, but we can work to sort that out. We'll just back up there. Now, if we put our blade down, we should be able to just nudge our pile back into some semblance of order. It's a little bit larger than the piles he's been working with, but he certainly found that kind of helps the process of putting the logs on the trailer. What we might do is just finish loading the trailer, and then we can go and see how our... That's as much as we're going to get up there by the looks. Just a little bit too heavy to bunch any further, but that'll do the trick. There's a small one there. These little ones just go straight on the... You see they're only 59 kilos to pick up, and we can pop these straight on the little trailer, which we take to our firewood processor. Let's bring this a little bit closer to our pile. It's looking fairly full. Let's head back up to the mill. In fact, what we might do, let's just check the prices and see how much difference there is between the two sawmills for wood. So the old sawmill's paying $80.35, the new one's paying $1,800, but the new one's really close and the price is increasing. So let's drop some in the new one. We haven't, Jake hasn't actually sold there before, and that'll give us a good opportunity to see how the ploughing's going. He's thinking we might end up with a shed or something at this end of the field, so that's the reason that he hasn't brought the field boundary right to the edge. And we know if we get in the mid-30s for a trailer load, that seems to be about the going rate with the most recent experience that we've had. So let's see how we go. Looks like our field's coming along quite nicely. When we get that ploughing done, we'll be able to just run a soil tester over it as we tried to do at the beginning of the episode and find out what sort of soil we got there. Let's see if we can figure out where we've got to go to sell this. 35,600 plus our environmental score, so that feels like it was very similar. That feels like it was very similar to the other sawmill. If we check, did we do anything to the price? We put $1 on the price, so I guess we sold, it's up towards 2,000, so we sold about 18,000. Maybe it cost us $800 or so to come here, but that was in many respects easier, certainly a shorter trip, and we got to check on the field. So and you never know, maybe that increases our standing just a little in terms of trying to get in with Buff's partners if we want to purchase that BGA. We've got enough cash now if we want to take that step. Jake's umming and ahhing a little bit. It's not necessarily the business he and Paige envisaged, although one of the environmental aspects of it, you know, producing a little bit of local electricity to offset tearing this timber out, does sit reasonably well with him. So we'll just have to see. For now, let's load up another one. We just finished moving these logs out of the fields. We've loaded up another trailer. And just bump that across there. We've got a couple of... Let's take you out of the field now, because we're probably finished with you at the moment. Let's go and get our little log trailer. Because we can... there's one big one there we missed. Come back and get that shortly. Looks like there's one hanging over the side here. 58 kilos. Strap you on. And our little purchase is working quite nicely on this rough ground. Moving this trailer around, it works really well. A bit faster than the Volvo, so it just does a slightly better job for us. Let's go and grab, there was one right there, heavy U57. We can pop you on. And what are you? You're 30, we can manage that as well. And if we out with you and the winch, we can grab that one that we left in the middle of the field. Touch you on. And then just tow you back over to our pile. Just roll you across there. Perfect. And detach the cable. That all looks pretty good. Rightio. So we got one more truckload, so we might take that across to the new sawmill as well, so that we can potentially check on our, and this one's loaded fairly high, so I don't want to be dropping any of these off. There's some big logs on the top there. It's feeling like it's just a little on the unstable side. Feel a bit better when we get onto the apron, I think. Just rocking and rolling a little too much. So a short trip might be the order of business. Let's turn in here. Here it is. Looks like it's just got a couple more up and downs to do. Last time that the cell trigger was at this end of the little pile, so we might try and pull in a little better so that it's a bit easier to get to. It'll be around here somewhere. We're right on it. And just a fraction more, 40,000 for that load, so that's pretty good. Let's just jump up here. How much has he got to go? Not an awful lot. So I think Jake's going to take the plunge here. 183 in the bank. We learnt the other day, I think, that this was, or earlier on, that it was 135, so I reckon he's going to invest. And let's see if we can find out what's going on with this unit. So it's processed. Well, we didn't get any credit for anything we've delivered to it. There's a fair bit of sugar beet cut sitting in there that we did deliver, and so we can see why the volumes that we delivered were a bit of a problem. So we might deactivate those for the moment. but we might need some more investment if we're going to deliver more sugar beet cut. But for now, we'll let that run. That can produce digestate that maybe we can use in due course. And we'll see how we go. We can head on back, and what we might do, let's just drive past and try and make a guesstimate of how much longer it's going to take. I reckon we might head back to our field and load up. He's not far off the headlands, but he's not going to finish quickly today. And so we might leave it there and come back next time. When we start out, and we should be able to do the soil sampling and then bring the equipment across so that we can plough this field at Eddie's. So I think that might be the way to go. Another couple of days and the grass is going to be ready to mow again, which will be another load of silage. So financially we're in a strong position now. When we get a moment, we can also bring the rest of that sugar beet down to our BGA. Keep that processing. But for now, that's where we might leave it here. Making some progress. Into February, we'll be putting crops in these fields before we know it. But for now, thank you everybody for watching. Until next time, stay safe, have fun. See ya.